Hello, so today our group are going to present about the risk management in rubber glove production. First, we'll take a look at the risk breakdown structure, RBS. We decided to divide the risk into three categories, which are external risk, technical risk, and lastly organizational risk. In external risk, it consists of demand risk, raw material quality, weather, rubber tree production, and lastly boycott company. For the technical risk, it consists of quality issues, part compatibility, expert involvement, installation, and lastly material availability. Lastly, for the organizational risk, it has market or reputation on risk, ethical risk, financial resources risk, investment risk, and lastly human resources risk. And now let's move on to the probability and impact metric. This probability and impact metric will be the guideline for us to evaluate the impact and its probability on the production. And it also consists of grade scale that we're going to use to decide the severity of the risk for our company. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, I am Khairul. First, we'll take a look on external risk. The first one would be demand risk. The demand of the glove would sort of fluctuate depends on the situations. For example, as you can see right now, there is a high demand on glove due to COVID-19. However, once COVID-19 has subsided, the demand for glove will definitely drop. This demand risk occasionally happens in this line of production. Hence, it has a medium risk rating to the company. To control this risk, the research and development manager will develop a research to improve the existing rubber glove quality. Next will be the raw materials quality. As there is a high demand of glove in the market, the needs for raw materials will also increase. Since the raw materials production may not be able to keep up with the high demand, the quality of the materials will not be up to par. However, it has a low risk rating as it's unlikely for the raw materials to have a low quality. But if it were to happen, the right response would be maintaining a good relationship with the supplier to get the best quality and train the workers to strictly follow the SOP of raw materials quality. Thirdly, we have identified the weather to be external risk for rubber glove production. Unstable weather like raining and storm will affect the harvest of the raw material, which will affect the supply of the raw material to the factory. There is a chance that this unforeseeable circumstance to occur anytime. Thus, it has a medium risk rating since it has quite a big impact on the rubber glove production. Therefore, to minimize the impact of this risk on the production, the chemical engineer needs to maintain the quantity of the rubber materials in the factory. Following that, the decrease in rubber tree production can be external risk for this glove production. This is because in order to have a good plantation that can give a lot of natural rubber, the planter should take a good care and look after the plantation properly. For instance, if the soil is too damp, the probability of rubber tree production will be decreased, and in fact, it is very unlikely for the owner to not properly maintain their plantation. Hence, it has a low risk rating towards the company. The last risk is the category would be people boycotting the company. The reason for this action might be because of issues or scandals circulating around the company, such as forced labor using foreign workers. The risk rating for this issue would be medium since there is a low chance that this risk will happen in the company, but it can cause a great impact on the company. The project manager is responsible to hold a meeting and create a public relation crisis plan to curb this problem. Thank you.
Now I would like to discuss the technical risks of rubber glove production. So there are 5 risks associated with the technical risks. Let's talk about them one by one. So first of all is the quality issue of a rubber glove. This happens due to the production line has to ramp up to increase the amount of rubber glove produced in satisfying the demand of the market due to pandemic. Some of the processes in the production will be minimized to cut the time in producing a rubber glove. As example, the drying process can be shortened to push the limit of production. This results in the probabilities of creating a defect rubber glove or lower quality glove. The mold of the rubber glove has to be cleaned, as the smallest contaminant of the mold can cause leaks or defects, as you can see in the picture. So therefore, it has a high risk rating, as quality issues can hurt the company reputation and also lowers the consumer's trust. Quality issues can be managed by allocating enough workers in the test station and also ensure the procedures is done correctly. Therefore, supervisors have to be ensured to workers to follow the SOP. Second, there may not be enough material due to the government regulations and movement control order (MCO). Therefore, suppliers may not be able to ship the required materials in the production of rubber gloves. However, Malaysia is one of the biggest producers of rubber in the world. Therefore, there is a very low occurrence of this happening. Therefore, if there is a risk of this to happen, we can increase the amount of material supplied to the factories. Thirdly, if new installments or machineries are introduced in the factories, expert involvement are required to ensure correct procedures are implemented. This has a medium risk rating, as accidents in the factories can cause the factories to shut down if there are injuries or accidents happen to the workers. Therefore, experts or supervisors have to be allocated to the sectors that have a high risk of accidents happening. For the company may want to take this chance to do improvisation or new installation in the factories to increase the rate of production of rubber glove, such as in the picture is the curb roll. However, when there is a new installation, there will be difficulties in producing and teaching workers in using the new installation. So medium risk rating is given as success rate of the installment can be low and workers cannot handle the new installation well. Therefore, we can put expert workers privilege for the new installment. This can also be further enhanced by ensuring the improvement is done right time outside of the MCO. Fifth is the part and the material in inventories may not be compatible in making rubber glove. Material like rubber glove requires a workforce to handle to its properties. However, natural rubber or latex, in the other hand, is easier to handle. Therefore, it has a medium risk rating, as it can cause a problem in the production line. Therefore, enough workers have to be allocated to ensure the quality and amount of rubber glove produced is great and sufficient. Each type of rubber glove can also be calculated based on the demand of the market. That's all from me. Thank you.
We will now be talking about the organizational risk. The first organizational risk will be market or reputation risk. This risk is a threat or danger from the actions of the company, employee, and other parties such as partners and suppliers that damage the reputation of the company. This could affect a company financially due to mistrust from customers and partners. Company might face with paying compensation or boycott. With strict actions from higher authority to monitor the actions of each employee, the probability of this risk is low. However, the impact is high. The risk rating is medium. The second risk will be financial resource risk. This risk related to insufficient funding and poor budget management. The probability of this risk is with a well-established financial department with correct response such as proper planning and project budgeting, it will be low. The impact is medium, as it will cause short-term loss, misalignment in budgeting and delaying in the project. Therefore, the risk rating is low. The last risk will be investment risk. This risk exists when the company is doing investment such as expanding business. This including building new factory and purchasing land for plantation of rubber tree. A proper planning can be done and hiring experts to minimize the risk. However, there are still incidents that we cannot predict, such as accidents in construction site, which make the probability of this risk is medium. The impact is also very high, as it can cause financial loss without gaining any profit. The bigger the investment, the bigger the loss. Therefore, the risk rating will be high. That's all from us. I hope this video is informative. Thank you.